Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Katie and I are here doing our AvTek year-end review. We first one we did was last year at your house in
Yep.
Delaware.
hmm
This year she's here, and we're sitting on the back deck at my place in East Texas and just loving the weather. As you can tell, it's short sleeve. We got a warm Christmas. So for those that's in 5 foot of snow, I feel for you. Uh,
I'm
so
glad I'm not you.
well, was it 29 this morning in
Yeah, 29 in
Delaware?
Delaware, so I'm
Yeah,
real happy
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
Texas.
So first, to my team, everybody at AvTek, I want to thank them for all the hard work this year. It's been a trying year. A lot of people's had some trying years this year, but a lot of work's gone into what we're planning on for 2026, and it's really starting to show fruit when it comes from that standpoint. And then also, I want to thank my team for supporting me and helping building a compliance program that actually got recognized this year at the MSP Titans Awards out at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel, where they hold the Golden Gloves, right?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what it is.
And which was an experience, I must say. And as you can see here, we actually were awarded out of thousands of entries. It narrowed down. There was actually 30 Titans selected for different categories, and we was awarded the Titans Award for compliance. And those customers are that knows us. We've been working on compliance pretty hard in the past 3 years, building a program that will be top notch. And to those of our early adopter customers that we've gone through audits and has come out very well, and we're doing this work. For those that supported us, I really want to say thank you. And we're looking forward to the new customers that's coming on and those we're talking to right now. Um, Being recognized as a Titan, I must say, was I still get chills thinking about it when they. And I'm looking. There's 12 of us in that category, and I'm looking going, John Hill should win, or this person win. I know most of them, and I'm going, oh, they should win. And then they called my name, and all I could think to do was just bow my head for a few minutes. It was surprised, and I was just glad my wife was there, Susan, to see it. She's put up with me for a lot of years. And, you know, for her to be able to be there and see something we've worked on so hard come to fruition and to be recognized for it, it was really a special moment. So, to all those that are fellow Titans at one time work, congratulations. I believe me, I understand what it takes and the hard work you put in to get it. So, well deserved and glad to be part of it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Katie because, again, just like last year and just like most anything we do, she comes up with questions I have never seen. I have not heard them yet. So if I have a surprised look on my face when she asks, you understand why I'm here the first time as you do. So with that, there you go.
Okay. How would you describe AvTech today as someone who has never heard of AvTech?
Family. When I say that, I don't take it lightly. And obviously, Katie's actually my daughter. And, you know, she's my marketing coordinator, but I have husband and wife teams. I have nephews. I have, nieces, um, other family members of other employees in the business. And most people saying, that's, no, no. You should shy away from that. It can cause, massive confrontation. It can, depending on whether or not you have a culture or not that'll support it. So the second word that would describe is culture. Is our culture is set up to allow that to happen. Everyone understands when they come to work. She don't call me dad, even though sometimes you do, and Lois gets jealous
Yeah,
and everything.
it's
But
a slip.
but it's happy. But everybody calls me Wayne. I'm Wayne. I'm not
Yep.
dad. I'm not uncle. I'm not brother-in-law. I'm not any of that. I'm Wayne.
Yep.
Um, and that's how we all treat each other. This is a business. We got a job to do, and we hold ourselves accountable. And if we're not accountable to what we do, there's repercussions to it, just like in any business. But we understand that. We don't let that cross the boundaries to family because you just can't do that.
Yeah.
But also from a culture standpoint, what's better than family? Um, Family is important to me. So our clients are family. I'm concerned about them. If they need help, they know all they got to do is make a phone call. Doesn't matter when, what time, where we're at, we're there to help. So that's how I would describe AvTek.
That's good. What problem does AvTek solve better now than ever before?
Wow. Well, knowing me, any problem's a problem I like solving. So, you
Yeah,
know,
but okay,
it's. But
better than we've done before in the past.
I think that, well, obviously we spent 3 years building a compliance program,
Yeah.
and prior to that, everything we did was from a technology standpoint, solving problems. And people that know us know that we strive very hard to make problems go away, be very quick at solving them to the point of being proactive at solving them so our customers are not experiencing it. I mean, one of our clients today, we get a call and their site's down and our team is on it and gets them back up quickly, you know. So we've always strived to be that, but a compliance, that was one when we started 3 years ago, get into it and understanding it. And even though our main clients are banks,
Mm-hmm.
and so regulated environment, we're very knowledgeable about what they go through. But when I started getting into the compliance side of it and understanding what that takes, that's a totally different problem set.
Yeah.
That's a totally different set of people. And so what I'm proud of is we took the time to build a compliance program correctly to where not only can it scale, but it meets the audit requirements. When you get auditors come in and they tell us, how did you do this? They ask those questions. How long have we been doing this? You know, why are we doing that? And we explain to them and saying, they're telling us, hey, you've turned this entity around quicker than we've ever seen anybody do it. And all we're doing is solving the problem the right way, following the right things. And we got a team that's positioned that way to actually do that. So solving the problem of doing it right the first time,
Mm-hmm.
which we strive to do every time, but in a whole new venture and something growing it from the ground up and then getting validation, just like this validation here,
Mm-hmm.
but having auditors validate that, that's probably what I'm the most proudest of in the problem that we've solved.
Okay. All right. So, what makes AvTek different today compared to where we were exactly a year ago?
More resilient. And what I mean by that is it's been a tough year for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
But we acquired a company and we went through the acquisition of that and then bringing that in and living through the first time of ever doing that. At the same time, we're building a whole new department
Mm-hmm.
within the business. And so we funded that. This is, when you do certain things, sometimes you sell things before you build it, or you build it before you sell it. So what we did was purchase a company in a totally different market and bring that in, get those customers know who we are, deal with the transition of that. At the same time, build a whole brand new department, bring in new people into the business, bring those two things together, and then actually bringing both sides together. That was tough.
Yeah.
But the team was resilient and worked through them, and even through stressful times, found a way to stay on task and move forward
Mm-hmm.
to where we, at the same time, keeping customers happy, but also building a program the right way so we're prepped to do our SOC 2 certification
Mm-hmm.
in this year. So that's probably what I would say is resiliency.
Okay. You've kind of touched on it here and there, but what kind of growth has AvTek experienced over the past year?
Well, we grew our revenue by right at 30%. So we had good growth. And that's a testament to expanding our market, but also bringing a whole nother market to bear, a revenue chain of what we're working in. So where we're at right now, and that growth has positioned us to really grow this next year. So we got our foundation really set. So now it's to grow upon that foundation and be focused on that. So that's really where I think we had the most growth, is building our foundation, widening that foundation and making sure it's solid, so we can grow in 2026. Because anybody knows if you don't build a foundation right for a home, it's just a house of cards. And so that's what we always focus on. Are we building it right? Do we document our process procedures right? Can this process go through all the way from the client to the back end and back out so everybody knows what they're doing? So um, I think we're positioned quite well for what we hope to do in 2026.
Okay. What's one milestone from the last year that really defines AvTek's momentum?
For me personally, it's when an auditor intentionally finds you, finds our CISO, ask him about AvTek, what's the history of AvTek, how we got involved in banking, how long we've been doing compliance, and then to tell us that not only were they impressed with what we're doing, but they're going to make sure other entities know about us because they're impressed with the way we've done the work.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to me, that's a milestone because when you, even though you know you're doing it right and you're trying to do a good job, until you get that confirmation from the other side of what you build this for to get their approval of, until you get it, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And not only getting it once, but several times, that's a major milestone to me. Is
It's that
we know it's
validation.
it's that validation that we're doing it right, we thought about it right. Not to say you never make mistakes or you don't have room of improvement, but the path we're taking is the right path and it's validated. So to me, that's the milestone.
Okay. So, why are cybersecurity and compliance more critical now than they were a year ago?
Well, anybody that knows me, they'll know that I say that it's not necessarily more critical now than it was a year ago because it was just as critical a year ago as it is today.
Yeah.
Um, and it always has been. I think what's really important is people starting to recognize it that didn't recognize it a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that the two are not the same. They are totally different, but they complement each other. And I always say you can have security without compliance, but you can't have compliance without security. And that compliance side, it really guides you. And probably the biggest thing I see in a change over this year is, the companies that are regulated, like banks and credit unions and others, medical and HIPAA, they know it's there. Banks know it, they follow it and all this. Medical, depending on the environment, some of them follow it. HIPAA now is changing where now more and more people are starting to adhere to because they understand the legalities of it. But when you start looking at ones that don't have a regular audit all the time, but now are starting to recognize the importance of it, but also that businesses are starting to ask you, what is your compliance posture? What is your security posture? What's your risk posture? Any of those terms, that's what they're talking about. It's not just the security, but what are you being compliant to? How do you validate what your security posture is? And now, whether it's CPAs, whether it's CPA firms, whether it's lawyer firms, whether it's just simple businesses, want to know, are they compliant for what cybersecurity requires from a cybersecurity insurance policy? A year ago, especially 3 years ago when I first started the compliance piece, people was like, "Wow, I don't need to do that." And as it's moved on, is because of things that's going out in the market, and the more that compliance is talked about and understanding, people being educated on what it actually is, and then how viable it is to help you, people are start coming now. We're getting asked about it. What do I need to do about it? Instead of us having to preach to them, educate them, now they're coming and they've educated themselves. Now they're coming back and saying, how do I do this? Can we get this done? How should we continue with this? Because compliance is a journey. It's not something where you can implement it and it's over with, it's done. It's a continuous journey, just like cybersecurity is a continuous journey, because the hackers will never stop. They're always improving on their skills, so we always got to be improving on ours. There was a great article that just come out about all of 2025, all the different type of things happening, and with AI going on.
Yeah.
And there is a compliance framework for AI, and there's a security framework for AI. You got to make sure. You can't say, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not using it. It's not going to be there.
It's in
AI
more
is in
things. I was going
everything
to say it's in more things than you realize
you
it's in.
realize. you're using it today and you don't even know it.
Yeah, what's depending on what software you're using,
Right.
you
Yep.
know, what vendors, what if you even just a random download
Mm-hmm.
that someone's using, like, oh, hey, this can help me, I'm going to download it. You don't know if AI is being used. It probably is.
Yep.
So,
Well, from our experience, it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
nine
So,
times out of 10, it is being
that
used.
journey is probably this past year and people recognizing what they need to do
Mm-hmm.
and being proactive about it. That right there is a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's going to carry over on. And that's just going to continue to go because it
Mm-hmm.
is a journey.
Okay. So, what's one misconception businesses or anybody still has about cybersecurity or compliance and compliance?
That's a good one.
I know one thing I've seen a misconception about cybersecurity is
Okay.
that, especially because it has been a tough year economy wise for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
is that, oh, well, we haven't had any issues, maybe we can price shop. And then they start like gambling. Well, yeah, you haven't had issues because it's working, it's doing its job. And that's, I think, a misconception that I've seen more now working in this side of it and on the marketing side, is because everybody's like, well, but what if it's not an everyday thing? I'm not using it every day. Yeah, you are. You just don't know you are.
Well, you know, exactly. They don't know they are. And that's, to me, that's a responsibility. Whenever you got a managed service provider that's helping you do this,
Mm-hmm.
all right? A managed service provider, as soon as I sign a contract with you, with a client, I have what's called shared responsibility and shared liability. Every MSP, everyone delivering IT has this same requirement on them. As soon as we do that, we're taking on shared responsibility and shared liability. That, are you being secure? So that's the reason why we won't take on our client unless you do cybersecurity. If you don't want to do cybersecurity, you can't even be our client. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to jeopardize AvTek because somebody doesn't want to do the right thing to protect their business.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a business to run.
Mm-hmm.
Your client's got a business to run. It's IT's responsibility, the managed service provider's responsibility, to educate them on what the security platform is doing for them,
Mm-hmm.
so they can understand how many actual attacks are attempted on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis. Thousands to 100,000s of attempts are going on. But if we're not educating our clients
Mm-hmm.
about what's actually happening, then are you actually monitoring what's happening?
Yep.
Right? So to us, if we're looking at, we want to our customers to know exactly how many attacks are happening, what's going on, how we capture them, what's going on with that, in a manner so they understand what the value of what they are paying for
Mm-hmm.
is there. Because they're fiduciary responsibility to somebody.
Yeah.
They may have a board. Well, if you go to the board, well, how's this money you're spending actually helping us? Well, if they can't answer that question, that's not their fault. That's our fault.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I always make myself available to any of our clients. I'll come to their board meeting. I'll do it virtually. I'll be physically, and we'll educate them on what's going on and how the value of the service is actually enabling their business to be successful. So if you don't feel that you know what's going on, ask your provider, ask your IT staff. If they can't answer that question, they can provide you that detail, then maybe you need to start looking.
Yeah. So, what's one way for MSPs, not just AvTech, but any MSP, to combat those misconceptions? Is it just
Communication.
okay?
Standard reporting. A lot of people are like, wow, reports and reports. Set it up where you got reporting in a way that they can actually ingest that. Make sure you educate them on what the report's saying. Don't try to kill them with data,
Yeah.
but give them an executive level summary that gives them the information they need, that they can justify the value of what you're doing. And plus, when you're educating them on this, then that's actually going to make that relationship tighter.
Yeah.
Because now you got that trust value and you're doing what you actually contractually said you're going to do with them, is provide that value and that service. So communication is paramount in
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So, what does it mean to you when a client trusts AvTech with their security and compliance?
What does it mean to me when they trust us to do that stuff? Well, it's an honor to start with. take pride in that someone sees the value in what we do and how we go about it, and they want us to do that for them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not, pride of myself, it's a pride of our team,
Yeah,
the whole AvTek family, because it takes all of us to do
it
this.
really does.
So, I feel honored. When I get phone calls from a client saying, Joe is doing an awesome job, Sam is killing it doing this, thank you for having him on your team or her on your team. That right there is the pride I'm talking about. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when people trust us to do that
Yeah.
and they're happy with what we do. And it's not just a single person, it's multiple people in a team and that they're there for them. That's what I take pride in.
Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing, especially if, someone takes the time to leave a Google review or a
Mm-hmm.
Clutch
Our
review
clutch review.
or
Yep.
sit down and do like a testimonial video with
Yeah.
us and they name specific people
Yes.
that it's, that it is personal still. It's not
Yeah.
just because sometimes when people are like, oh, you're fully remote, so you don't send texts in. And I'm like, no. They were like, well, then how do you build a relationship with your clients? And I'm like, our clients can name the texts. They want certain texts, like they have
Mm-hmm.
favorite texts, but they know that even if that text out of office or with another or busy, it's the next person in line and it's still going to be handled with the same level of professionalism and expertise
Mm-hmm.
and be taken care of.
I look at it from a standpoint of if I can only solve a problem by being on site,
Yeah.
that's that that's a lack of knowledge and a lack of ability. But that relationship and building that relationship, whether it's in person or not, that's the reason why we make sure every one of our people have cameras. We want our folks to know each other, but we also make sure there's a way that we can actually do things. Now, if a client's got a problem and we got to go on site, we're going to go on site.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. But if I can solve that problem quickly, I just save time because time is money.
Mm-hmm.
If I could already solved it before I can actually go get in the car to drive to on site,
Yeah.
isn't that more important to make sure the business
Absolutely.
is running? Now, relationship and knowing the client and having that relationship, we want to foster that and we should foster that all the time. And there's multiple ways to go off and do that. So we should always encourage that having that relationship with each other, and that's bi-directional.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's got to be that mutual type of thing to make that work, and we strive at that every day.
Yeah. I got locked out of your phone. I can't read my
Oh,
questions.
oh, okay. Oh, you got them. Okay,
Take care.
there you go.
Okay. What's the real world? Stop peeking. What's the real world impact of strong IT and cybersecurity on a business?
Was the impact?
Real world impact of strong IT and cybersecurity.
It's a. What's the best way to put it is when a business, by having that, a business is able to focus on what they're successful at, what makes them money, what allows them to take care of their employees, their family. That's the impact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old saying is, the IT for forever has been, hey, you're out of sight, out of mind. That means everything's great. You know, where it started was, well, if you don't never talk to IT or they're going, they're not doing anything, so you might as well go find somebody else doing it. That's so not right
Yeah.
because if your IT is proactive and they're doing that and you're not having to talk to them, that means you're focusing on your business to go get stuff done. You don't want to have to be calling them all the time. That means they're being proactive and keeping you protected in that. But if you're having issues and always having to do it, and you got to wait on them to come on site to fix things and do these things. Maybe either they don't understand your business, communication between you two is not right, you're not aligned, and when you get out of line like that, then it impacts business. Both sides actually,
Yeah.
because it's impacting as an MSP. If my team's doing that, I want to know what's wrong on my side because that's impacting our ability to deliver service. So it's not just one side, it's both sides, and it should be figured out. And there's nothing wrong with calling that problem out because if you call it until you bring the problem up and say, hey, let's take a look at this. Let's figure this out to where we don't have to have this conversation. When we have a conversation, it's talking about planning for 2026. It's budgeting 2026, new projects, what you're going to do, and you're looking forward instead of trying to fix what you have today.
Yeah.
If you're focused on what you already have and that's all you can focus on, can't focus for the future, now that's an impact to business that shouldn't happen. If you're looking to the future, then both of you are healthy, you're both doing your jobs, you're both being successful together, and that's how it should be.
Okay. What kind of team does it take to deliver the level of service AvTek provides?
Wow, that's a great question. Trust. What do I mean by trust? I trust that my team's got my back and they trust I got theirs. Continuous education. We're always educating ourselves on what's going on. This business always changes. There's a reason I like it and I'm still in it and I foresee being in it for a long, long time.
This is
Hey
Maisie.
Maisie. Hey Maisie.
Hi, Maisie.
She
Come
come to
here.
visit.
You
Thank you,
come here.
girl. Thank you, girl. Good girl.
Okay.
But trust, knowledge, family, it's all those things that make up who we are to be successful. I don't know what else to say on that one.
You need me to reread the question?
Yeah, read it again. Yeah, the interruption.
Right. It is. I was focused on Maisie and her not knocking down my drink. What kind of team does it take to deliver the level of service that we provide?
A team that trusts each other, that family oriented type of team that knows that we each other's got our back, each other's back. Doesn't mean everybody has to know everything about everything, but we know how to find that information and get help with others to go do it. We're not afraid to ask for help. To me, that team is one that can grow because if they're willing to learn and they're willing to say, I don't know, I can teach that. I can help that person move forward. If I had a team of folks that they know everything, you cannot educate them,
Yeah.
that team don't work. You got to have people that are humble. You got to have people that's willing to learn and willing to share. And I have no problem telling somebody I don't know, but I can go figure it out.
Yeah.
And if I can't figure it out, I know folks that can help me figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's extremely important. And even our clients know there's no way anybody can know it all. It changes too fast. There's too many variables in all this. But if you've got a methodology, you have a process and procedure that allows you to overcome those things and always be overcoming those things and be willing to go that extra mile to go educate your own self on something you don't know to help them figure out a problem, then that's a team that can grow.
Mm-hmm.
That also is a team that attracts others that want to be part of that.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is very important how that team should be.
I agree. I was thinking the word humility the whole time.
Yeah.
Is if you have humility, that's to not be afraid to, but it's not being afraid to say, okay, I messed up or I don't know.
Yep.
Can you help me fix this?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the humility of knowing that someone's going to call you out when you do something wrong, but it's not going to be in a
It's
critical, it's not going to be like hypercritical and a calling out. It's to be like, hey, this is what happened. I noticed this. This is what we need to do.
Yep.
It's having the humility on both ends of it.
I would agree with that.
Is a good word. So sum it up quickly.
What do you mean?
What makes the AvTek team special?
All the things I just said. How's that? Is that quick enough?
Smart
ass. The team's special, and from a standpoint of we have folks with a lot of different personalities. And it takes a community
Mm-hmm.
to function.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like an engine. It takes all the different parts to make it work,
Yeah.
to run.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get up I'll say good morning to folks, probably the thing I enjoy the most when I get up in the morning and I'll say good morning to folks on team.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll respond back and I have a conversation. They'll ask me about my day or what coming on this. I'll ask them about their family, the newborns that's in our group, stuff like this, and coming this or, uh, you know, them asking about Susan.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what makes it special to me is the caring of everybody has about each other, how the teams are getting together, how they're talking. And if I ask, hey, let's try to figure something out, folks will get involved to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come across as, oh, do I have to? That's not my job.
Yeah.
We don't typically get any of that.
No.
So to me, that's what makes it special is the human side of it.
Okay. So, what does strong leadership look like in a fast-changing IT environment?
Whew, boy, you're asking some interesting questions. It's funny, I was reading something the other day about leadership, and leadership is not being a boss. That's not what leadership is. To me, leadership is you're willing to help your team learn, lead by example. If you're not willing to do it yourself, how could you ask somebody else to do something? Now, can I go off and do all the different things that's going on? Absolutely not. I ain't got enough time in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why we bring other people in. But when you're leading folks, you got to be willing to give them an example of how to do things, support them in what they need, have their backs, what they're doing, and support them in that. Be willing to stand up
Mm-hmm.
when they need you to stand up. If someone's giving someone in your team a hard time, you got to think. I think the way I think about it is everybody in AvTech is an extension of me. And if someone disrespects someone on my team, it's no different than disrespecting me. Now, anybody can come to me and have a conversation with me and say what they want. That's cool. And I'll sit and listen to you and we'll go through this. But you do that with my team, we're going to have a different conversation.
Yep.
And part of a leader is being willing to do that for the people that you have for you. If they're doing the job, if they're leading by example, they're following our culture, they're doing the right thing, and you're not willing to stand up for them, then I consider you not a leader. I mean, that to me is what it means. So if you want to have good people around you, lead by example. You gotta be willing. I'll pick up the broom and sweep the floor if I need to. That's part of what I talk about is leading by example and helping them. It's not about what your success is, but helping them be acknowledged for the success they're having. Like I said before, best thing that happens to me is when I get a phone call from a client talking about one of our employees and just giving raving reviews. That's what I strive to do as a leader of our company is have those people recognized, not me. If my people are winning, then I'm winning. As a company, we're winning. That's how you should view it as a leader.
Okay. Why is trust such a critical part of IT and cybersecurity
Well,
partnerships?
you think about it is our job is to make sure that a client's information is not infiltrated, that the best efforts are made to meet the requirements to protect that information. There's nothing 100%. There's always things moving around. But if you've got the process and procedures and the tools in place and are doing the right things to monitor it, you typically will catch those things before something bad happens. It's think about it from a perspective of you're the leader of your home. It's your responsibility to protect that, making sure the doors are locked, making sure someone's not coming in. You got a way to handle that stuff if it does. It's no different. So that company's trusting you to help protect their environment. And we're being trusted to go do the things that they need to do for themselves. If they can't trust you to do that, if you're not trustworthy to protect their information, then you don't have a business. IT being a critical infrastructure, just like banking and medical and others, people trust us to do things to protect their information. And that's 101 IT. We have access to things, we're going to protect it, and then we got to be trusted not to misuse that information. If you can't do that, this is the wrong business for you to be in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what excites you most about where AvTek is headed?
What excites me most?
Mm-hmm.
Probably that what we've built to now is set the stage for a lot of growth, and that we get to expand our family. We will get others to bring in. And that expansion of the family is not only people that's going to work for us, but the clients that will become part of our family
Mm-hmm.
and what we do and how we do things. And that's the part, solving problems is what I love doing more than anything, because you can see the end result of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's exciting me is all the hard work. We've got the foundation now to expand that family, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Why should businesses care about proactive IT and cybersecurity, not reactive fixes?
That kind of goes to what I was talking about just a few minutes ago is if you're always reactive, then you're not focused on the business. You're not focused on what makes you successful. But if you got proactive IT, then IT becomes quieter. You're not worried about what actually is being done from the IT perspective, but you're worrying about what you're doing to generate business, what you're doing, whether it's seeing patients, whether it's doing tax returns for your clients, whether it's, building ATM machines for your clients, whatever what it is your business is, you're going to be focused on doing that because that makes your business successful. So proactive IT enables your business to be proactive at what you do, and they should complement each other. Reactive means it's going backwards. So that's, to me, proactive is moving forward, reactive is moving backwards. I'd rather be moving forward.
What should businesses be thinking about now to stay secure long term?
Great question. Probably the biggest thing that you can do is get started. If you're not already doing it, get started. What do I mean by that is still well over 90% of all infiltrations into business from a security standpoint is email compromise. We're still talking about it today. And if you go look at the IC3 reports from the FBI, it's still the largest way of infiltration that hackers have into the business. And a large component of that can be actually dealt with through education.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, the thing that's the most important you have to do in the business is educate, 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 educate your users. Not only does it help protect them in business, but protect at home. And you have remote users, you have all this stuff going. You travel. Remote just means it just not working from home, but you got an executive that's traveling, is in hotels or wherever it may be. If we're not educating ourselves, especially with AI and what it's doing these days, if we're not continually educating ourselves, testing ourselves, are we educating ourselves to be able to recognize these things, to follow process, to do these things? Tools alone can't solve the problem. I can do a lot of things with tools that's going to protect the environment, but the one tool, there's no tool other than education that stops the human element.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still the weakest link. So We got to be educating. We got to do the validation. And if someone messes up on their testing, it's not where you beat them up. You re-educate. You keep doing it and make it a positive thing. But if you're not educating, you don't have a focus on security and policies and procedures and educating ourselves. Here's what we do. This is what we're about. This is our culture on how we're doing security. If you're not doing those things, then you're wide open. So that's something you got to continue now. And like, it's a journey. There's no way you set it and it's done. It's always going to be changing. So if you don't do this now and forever, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Last one.
Okay.
How is AvTek preparing clients for the future of cybersecurity?
Just what I just said is education. Is that's just like what we're talking about here. This is part of educating. It's getting people to know they should think about these things. But even on these, we do monthly or other, quick little SIP videos I do that you pester me about.
Well, record more and I won't have to pester.
But it's putting that information out there and educating ourselves and making sure we're doing the things, new things coming out, educating on that. You got a business to run. That's one thing I pride ourselves, especially on our compliance side of the house too, is we're going out there looking at all the things that's changing all the time. So we can make sure you know about them and what does it mean to your business. So we can proactively say, hey, we got to think about this. How do we go do it? And put a plan to it, budget to it, go do those things. So education, communication, those are the two pillars of protecting yourself long term.
Okay.
What do you think?
Pretty good.
Good year?
I think it was a good year.
Well, I got a question for you.
Oh, gosh.
You didn't even know this was coming.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
So, you went with me several times to different events and stuff like this,
yes.
and get up and talk, and we talked. We didn't really talk about AI in this whole thing, but we're fixing to. And so, you got to see at the events and different speaking things that we talked about AI from the very beginning of the year, where nobody would want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was not. Towards the end of the year, people were like, I want to do this, but how? And go do this. What was your experience with the folks we talked to? And you got to talk with lots of different folks when it come to AI. And what was your thought on how they should address AI?
I mean, my perspective is a little different because I look at it from the marketing side of things. And so the AI that I use is the one that everybody sees. It's the one that you see on, people creating pictures and the fun things. And then everybody is all up in arms about M dashes and grammar and hyphens and
thank you, David.
Freaking David Cox. Just leave me alone with my hyphens, man. So I think it's funny to see the different side of it is because on the back end, on the business side, on the services side, AI does do a lot. And it's funny people were so scared at the beginning of the year and so frightened because the year started off rough economy wise, like I said earlier, and it's been rough the whole year. And so people were very job scared. They are convinced that they're going to lose their job.
AI is going to take it over.
AI is taking everybody's job. AI could take my job. That's a job that it could take. Not really. I do a lot of it. But that's the thing is everybody started so scared, and I think they've accepted that it's not going anywhere, that it's not a trend, it's not a fad.
Well, I think to me, the reason I asked that question is approaching AI, you have to look at it. Everybody hears me say trust but verify. I believe in automation. I believe there's things that AI can do for us that makes us more efficient. So I look at it as not a replacing a job, but how do I make the employee I've got today more efficient where they can do more.
Mm-hmm.
Not have to spend more time, but be more efficient at what they do. And if you look at AI that way, then you got the validation. You can also put the controls around it to
Mm-hmm.
secure it. You can have a way to monitor it,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can actually educate people to use it in a process procedure that works for your business.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it that way and take the term automediation, we don't allow anything to automediate anything. It
Mm-mm.
can generate the information, come up to it, but there's going to be a human that validates and say, yes, go.
Yeah.
Yes, go. So it's
Machines aren't
validated.
running the whole thing.
No, it can help it, but how quick it is. Like if I got to solve a problem, it can go gather the information. I can review the information and say, okay, go do this.
Mm-hmm.
I Instead of spending hours at this, it comes back in minutes and I can go
Yeah.
get the same job done, but I've still got that human validating it, verifying it, and making sure it does the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You become more efficient in
Mm-hmm.
what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at that and continue doing that, that also allows us to put that security around it and that compliance around it
Mm-hmm.
that actually is manageable.
Then it allows you in the long run to be more proactive.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
So
So hopefully this was helpful to you, and we didn't bore you too much with my
technical sides.
responses. But I do want to thank everybody. I appreciate y'all viewing in, and hopefully you get something out of our videos that we do here. And if you ever got any questions, just reach out to us. Be happy to talk with you. And to your family, and to from our family, Merry Christmas and Happy
Yeah.
New Year.
Merry Christmas.
See you in 2026.